If you in the American school system right now, always remember that they care more about you passing than you actually learning.
The biggest problem with the American education system that nobody talks about is that it fucks up the smart kids. Like we talk.
So, have you noticed how many college students lately just complain about how tough things are? But here's the real question. Are they truly making the most of their time and opportunities? Or are they just stuck in the same loop of excuses? Success isn't about complaining. It is about how you face challenges and take action. So what do you think? Is complaining holding people back, or is there something else going on? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below, and let's check out what they're saying. Maybe there is a lesson worth learning for us. And now, let's get started into our video.
I really don't think we talk about it enough. Besides maybe CS, maybe engineering, the vast majority of people that I talk to that have graduated from college and are at their professions have not learned one thing from their college education that they're using in their jobs. Even most finance jobs. You don't need econ for that. You don't need theoretical models. God forbid, you don't need physics to be a doctor. Are you serious? It's just like, come on, man. Really?
If you in the American school system right now, always remember that they care more about you passing than you actually learning. When I was in elementary school, we could not make it past the second grade if we were not able to read. And now I'm hearing there's a lot of 8th graders out there that cannot read and write. How you can't read and write in 8th grade, boy? And I thought to myself, is it the kids? Or do the teachers not give a fuck no more? When I was in middle school, if your grades weren't good, they were putting you in Saturday school. But I ain't gonna lie, as soon as I got to high school, I realized they do not care about you even learning, as long as you pass. So at this point, you don't gotta play by the rules. I was cheating on every single test and homework assignment. Because what's the point if you don't care if we learn the curriculum? But this is where everything goes downhill for America. Listen to this. If everybody cheating on they shit in college, who's gonna be our doctors and nurses in the future, my nigga? I can't have no doctor that was cheating on their homework in med school. Imagine you gotta go into an emergency surgery and your surgeon is your dumbass homie Zay from college used to cheat with every single day. I would have told the doctor Zay can't be my surgeon. Me and Zay used to cheat every single day in med.
If I was given 1 year to fix the public education system, here's what I would do. Day 1, first order of business, homework is illegal across the board. Homework almost undeniably ruins the educational experience for students. Number 1, it takes time away from them at the end of the day and prevents them from doing even more extracurricular activities. I myself have been assigned so much homework that it would take me upwards of 2 to 3 hours to get it done before the next day. Now imagine working an 8-hour shift, getting home and having to keep working for 2 to 3 hours unpaid. That's basically what homework is for students. And the reason I say unpaid is because homework does not enhance the learning experience at all. In fact, it makes kids resent going to school. And ultimately, the time that students would spend doing homework, they would spend with their families. Imagine that. That just might fix society altogether. So yeah, no more homework. And in that same spirit, second order of business, do you know what else is going to be banned? Standardized tests. Standardized testing is just another waste of time that has no tangible results when it comes to enhancing the educational experience. How does it make sense that students spend an entire year, instead of learning actually important things, learning how to pass a test? A test, mind you, that has no positive attributes when it comes to the student. Also, can we acknowledge how the word standardized should be a dead giveaway as to how useless these tests are? If there's one thing that should not be standardized, it's education. We are dealing with millions of young minds that should each have a tailor-made experience, but instead, all these tests do is reinforce a one-size-fits-all approach, which explains why a lot of the educational system is garbage. Speaking of tailor-made experiences, number 3 on my list, no more unnecessary courses. If an 11th grader has been musically inclined for his whole life, is now showing signs of interest in that field, why on earth is that child being forced to learn trigonometry? Instead of giving him a piano, we are giving him a calculator. Why? Why? And you might go, well, they can just learn that instrument at home, and they probably could if they weren't so busy doing homework. You see the issue? Elementary and high school should be the breeding ground for creativity and innovation, and this school system is destroying that. And one more thing I would make sure that every child in the American school system eats properly at school. How do you expect a child to focus if all they've eaten is a boiled hot dog and some corn? I swear they eat way more sugar than protein. I swear all these changes are so simple and easily doable that it's almost suspicious the fact that they haven't been done. Johan, are you insinuating that these things are done intentionally? Well, yeah. Homework was not designed as a tool to help your child understand assignments. It was designed as a punishment for unbehaved students. Standardized testing was not designed to help kids learn anything. It was designed to help them stay quiet. The school system that we have today was not designed by a person who wants innovation in the country. It was designed by somebody who wants workers, silent, submissive workers. But I say all of that and suddenly I'm the crazy one.
Many people walk away from college with degrees but little practical knowledge or real wisdom. School gives us the basics, but it can't teach deep understanding. Life skills or self-awareness. A diploma is just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. It doesn't guarantee success or maturity. Often, experience and insight matter far more.
The biggest problem with the American education system that nobody talks about is that it fucks up the smart kids. Like, we talk about how it's completely fucked for underserved students, which is true. We talk about how public schools don't get enough funding, which is true. One of the reasons why America is going to get lapped by China, by Russia, by other global superpowers is that most really smart kids are deeply afraid of failure and don't work that hard because of our education system. If you grow up really smart, there's no incentive for you to kill it. Like, you just get this sense of perfectionism. People start to praise you. You're known as the smart kid. And then your whole sense of self-esteem comes from doing everything right the first time. So you don't actually take risks. Gradually, your love of learning and joy of actually just solving hard problems gets replaced with a crippling fear of failure and feeling like you're never doing enough. And then what happens is these kids go to Ivy League schools and get more jobs where they get more external affirmation. And then we got a whole bunch of smart kids that are insecure consultants and investment bankers that pour all that money back into the fucking therapy system. Buy BetterHelp stock. And then getting that dependent on external affirmation means unless you have really rich parents, you're not going to take the risk and go start a company or go, do something a little crazy, which is why that's saying the B students work for the A students who work for the C students is so true. Some of the richest, most successful people out there were dumb and bad at school. And they just had the balls to go for it because they weren't so dependent on doing everything perfectly, which obviously is how the world works in the vacuum that is a consulting firm and PowerPoint slides. It's not how the actual world works when it comes to really building something of value. So that's why I think our education system fucks up smart kids. I think it happened to me, okay? I'm kind of dumb, kind of smart too. But was this a Senor College miss, or did this really make you feel seen? I don't know. Comment below. Follow for more sauce.
Interestingly, students who perform average or below average often develop stronger independent and creative thinking skills. They aren't boxed in by strict rules and tend to find their own unique ways to solve the problems. These are often the people who become entrepreneurs because they learn early on to think differently and take risks. In business, thinking outside the box isn't just helpful, it is essential.
They just memorize things until high school. Honestly, honors English, that you really learn how to analyze text and deep dive into it and really process and understand it and get what it's hinting at and read the subtext and understand the subtlety and nuance that the author is portraying. And so because nobody really cares, nobody really gets educated, nobody really participates in learning, they just memorize and complete tests. Nobody is critically thinking, nobody is reading books, nobody is furthering their education. They think that once they graduate, they can stop reading. And it's very tragic because even myself as an adult, I read less than I did as a kid. But I was one of those kids who loved learning, and I loved going to school, and I loved doing math and English and writing and studying, and I loved all of that stuff. And it just makes me sad because I feel like the school system just beats that out of children and they don't enjoy learning anymore. And if they're curious about things, if they want to ask questions or learn about things that aren't in our history books and our science books, you don't get to foster that creativity.
In today's world, two skills stand out as absolutely vital. The first one is the ability to research deeply and find trustworthy information to make smart decisions. And the second is technology skills, especially coding, which empower people to solve complex problems and work more efficiently. Mastering these open doors and help people stay ahead in a rapidly changing world.
I'm seeing a lot of people saying that the children aren't learning. That's not the teacher's fault. We're teaching. The problem is that what you all don't want to say, well, why are the kids smarter? We were smarter then than the kids are now. That's because we didn't have iPhones, iPads. You all can remember when the most tech thing that we had was a beeper. And we're competing with all of these things. And you said, well, AI is teaching more. Well, yeah, AI is teaching, but it's sometimes not teaching the right thing. Your kids are looking at porn. Your kids are looking at things that they shouldn't be looking at, and they're becoming wise in one way but not wise in other way. If you ask these kids to write a subject-verb agreement, they couldn't do it. Can you underline the subject-verb agreement in a sentence? They can't do it. So, but their attention span is very short. They said that one time SpongeBob, that the children who watch SpongeBob, their attention span was very short because they use those little quick, short, little cues, and that's what the children are used to now. So we can't get a child to focus on the right thing, and that's beginning to be it's not beginning, it's a huge problem. We have a lot of ADHD out here. We have a lot of problems that a lot of parents don't want to hear about concerning their child. It may be mental, it may be behavior, which is mental, but you can't sit and say that it is just the teacher's fault. That doesn't have anything to do with the Department of Education, and it doesn't have anything to do with the teachers. We didn't have all the things that children have now. We had to read, we had to research. Do y'all remember that? When you had to go to the library and you had to go and research that stuff. Remember that back in the day? These children have everything, and they're retaining for the moment, but not for longevity. You'll get that on your way home. They're retaining for the moment. If I teach something Monday, do you know these children are looking at me like it's Greek on Tuesday? They're learning to take a test for the next day, but it's not retaining in their system because it's very quick. They're doing things very quick. If it's not to rap music or music, they have completely shut off. So you can't say the teacher, if the students aren't learning, you need to be doing better parenting.
One big weakness in our education system, that is practical financial education. Even business or finance majors mostly learn theory, not how to handle real money in everyday life. And there's a reason for this. If everyone truly understood money and finance, banks and financial institutions wouldn't profit so much from people's lack of knowledge. The system benefits those who understand it and often takes advantage of those who don't. That is why learning about money is crucial to protect yourself and build real financial security.
Something that they don't teach in school is literally everything you need to know about personal finance and money in your 20s and how powerful it is to start early. And living at home for my first year post-grad has allowed me to have the time to dive into the world of personal finance, investing, saving, budgeting, all of the things, money, that they don't teach you. I have listened to hours and hours and hours of podcasts on this topic. I love talking about money. There's so many things that they don't tell you that will help set you up for a more successful future. It will help you be less stressed about money. If you don't prioritize investing and saving in your younger years, you're just going to be working harder your whole rest of your life. Whereas you can be working smarter when you're young, saving, investing, and working towards reaching financial freedom. I could truly go on and on about this subject, so I think I'm going to make this a series where I'll do just a different thing that I've learned about money, budgeting, investing, saving, a paycheck breakdown, what I make in my side hustles versus what I make in my salary. Stay tuned for part 1.
Managing money and facing financial challenges are important skills that each of us needs to take charge of our life. While schools can teach everything, it's ultimately up to each individual to build their own financial knowledge and skills. Conversations like this will hopefully inspire people to start taking control of their personal finances. Thanks for watching, and that is the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, mastering money management is a key to security and success in your life.